So I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by Jonas Magard, and we're here ahead of an absolutely massive fight. You're headlining Oktagon 41 at the Home Credit Arena in the Czech Republic against Gustavo Lopez, an absolutely huge fight, what I'm sure you're looking forward to. And there's a lot of trash talk going into this one.
Yeah, I'm looking very, very much forward to this fight. I feel like it's a good fight for me. He comes with a lot. He's a former UFC fighter, and it's a good test for me. This is the kind of fight I've been waiting for. I feel like right now I'm in a place in my career where this is the fight that makes sense. So yeah, I'm looking very much forward to it. There has been a little bit of back and forth, but yeah, it is what it is.
You mentioned the back and forth there. I've heard that you've even been going into his DMs to send him some private messages. But what sort of stuff have you been saying to him?
I've just been telling him that he's gonna get a ass whooping Saturday night when we meet in the cage, and that's just about it. Like telling it how it is, how I feel. It's not like I'm just doing this for the public to see. I want him to know as well that this is a fight. And yeah, so that's just what it is.
I think part of the reason why this is such an interesting fight is that you're both proving yourself. You obviously
Mm.
have the Octagon belt. He has an interim version of the belt. So there's a big rivalry here over who's the actual champion.
Yeah, definitely. He went in and he fought the same guy I fought when I was getting the belt, and he got to finish him first round. So there's a bigger bit of a tip on my shoulder. Uh, but I feel like if I would have fought the guy that night, I would have finished him in the first round too. Because I've just improved so much since my last fight. I've been out for a bit, but it's not like I've been sitting out and just being lazy. I've been working, training, getting better every day in the gym. So yeah, there is a little bit of a thing going on there, and I'm going in there to prove that I'm there, and it's my belt, and that he has have his time, but now it's my time. So that's what I'm going in there to prove.
You mentioned that you've been improving while you've been out of the cage. Would you be able to tell me a little bit about your training setup and where you're based?
So yeah, I'm normally based in Denmark. I've been traveling a lot to Holland. I've been going a lot in Manchester here in England and training here. Even when I didn't have a fight, I was over here a lot last year as well. Just training and getting better, and yeah, being a part of other people's camps, helping people getting ready, and just working on that thing. A lot of fighters, they just go into fight camps when they have a fight, but I like to improve my game outside when I don't have a fight, because this is all I do. This is what, yeah, this is what I do. This is the thing I do. So for me to improve, I always want to be the best. I always want to learn. I always want to get better. Uh, Not only when I have a fight, but also outside of fighting, because I really live, I breathe, and eat MMA. And I want to prove that I'm one of the best bantamweights in the world.
We were talking before the start of this interview that you grew up in a small town in Denmark. Would you be able to tell me what it was like to grow up there, how you discovered MMA, and what it means to you to represent the Danish flag?
Yeah, it means a lot for me to represent the Danish flag. I feel like I represent the opportunities, even though you come from a small country. I come from a small city, but you still have a choice to follow your dreams. And if there's something you really want, you should just go for it. And I feel like I'm a proven example of that, because me growing up in a small city, like I don't know how many, like 700,000 people in the city I grew up in. A small city in Denmark, and I had this dream, and when I found MMA, I just knew was what I wanted to do, and I've been doing everything to be the best. Traveling, I travel away from home and my family and stuff, and moved to Copenhagen when I was like 18, and yeah, and just from there I've just been chasing my dream and just chasing on being better, and yeah, so it means a lot for me to represent Denmark, but also for me to show that if there's something you really want, you can actually do it. So yeah, it means the world to me. Like it's just about like going for your dreams a bit.
It's clear that you're somebody with incredible mental resilience, very mentally strong. At the start of your career, you went 1-3. So, would you be able to tell me how you developed the mental strength and the determination to keep going when it looked like things weren't going so well for you?
I think it's yeah, I went 1-3 in my pro debut, but I think it's also where I come from. Like, even though I come from a small city, it's a working class town I'm from, and it's all about working. It's not about giving up. Nothing was ever given to me easily in this life, and I've always worked for it. And I feel like those 3 losses that I had in the start of my career actually built the character that I am today. I feel like I have a bulletproof mentality, because I kept going. A lot of people maybe would have quitted or saying, oh, maybe this is not for me. But I'm maybe a little bit stubborn, and I want to keep going, and I want to prove everybody wrong. And yeah, that's definitely one of my strongest sides. And that's also in a way how I fight, because I wanna keep going no matter what. There's always a way. There's always, you just have to push forward. Um, so yeah, for, for that I'm very grateful that I had those 3 losses in my pro early in my pro career, because it's made me to the guy I am today. I don't and the other thing is, I put everything online. I don't have anything else. This is all I do, and I put myself in that spot because that's when I work the best. I work the best under pressure. And if I knew I have other things I could do, or whatever, I will probably not be the best version of myself. But because I put myself on this pressure, and I said this is all I'm gonna do, and this is all I wanna do, I don't have a plan B. This is the only way to go, and that's force myself to just keep grinding and keep going, and get on top. And this is the result now.
I like what you say there about the bulletproof mentality. It gives me this overwhelming feeling that no matter what Lopez throws at you in this fight, you're determined that you can keep going, you can take it on the chin, and eventually find the finish yourself.
Definitely, I'm a grinder. I'm not the most technical guy. It's not the most nice to see me fight. Sometimes it's not the most technical, but I will put on a fight, and I will grind, and I will go from start to finish if that's what it takes. And that's what my record says as well. I've never lost a fight like decision. It's always like I had to get finished, or whatever. If the fights I've lost, and I know every round I'm gonna come forward, I'm gonna be in his face, and I'm gonna put him under deep pressure, until he breaks, because that's what they will do, and that's what they always do. Like, in the fights, in training, wherever, I'm always putting people in deep waters, and just, yeah, putting them on that pressure, and they will find a way out somehow.
You touched on it a little bit earlier. He's been in the UFC. He's had some good fights there. I wanted to know, have you been watching those UFC performances? And will it matter when he gets in with somebody who, calls himself the Shark like you do?
Yeah, of course I watched it. I study everything about my opponents. This is war. I know everything he's doing. I know about his personal life. I know everything about him. I know about his fights. I know how his mentality is. I know all these things, because this is all it goes in. The fight is the fight, but there's so many other things about fighting. You can see about people's character before you fight them, how they are and how they're going to react under different circumstances. So when I fight people, I study them everything. I almost know when they eat and what they eat. And that's just me to put myself in that in that in that position where I'm in control. I know everything about this guy. And so I have been watching his fights. I've been studying his fight. I've been studying them alone. I've been studying with my team. And for me, it doesn't really matter, because he's been in there, and he had his time, and he had his chance to prove himself, but he couldn't prove himself. And he always came second. And that's what's going to happen this time too. Every time he met somebody who wanted it more than him, he becomes second. And that's why I'm gonna see this fight too, because he has other things he can do. He has other business. He has like other work and stuff. this is a second thing for him. Fighting is something nice and fun, and maybe it's for his ego or whatever. But the difference is, this is the only thing I do. This is the only thing. This is where all my focus is. Right now, I've been in Manchester. Up to this fight, I've been in Manchester for 22 days in fight camp, away from my family, away from my little son. And I'm just putting all these things in because I have I just want this so bad. And this is the only thing I have. So everything else comes second in a way when I have a fight. And that's the big difference between me and him. And so on the night, it doesn't matter where he's been fighting. It doesn't, because I know I want this more than he wants. And it's about willing. And I know I've been putting more work in than he will ever be able to do. Like, I've been killing myself in the gym. I've been seeking the best training, the best sparring. Everything, being away from family and stuff. But that's a part of it, because I want to succeed. I want to be the best, and I want to beat this guy, and I want to prove that I'm one of the best in the world, and that's a part of it.
I'm glad you said that, because I know throughout this entire build-up, something you've talked about so much is that you want it so much, and his head isn't entirely in MMA. So when the two of you get in that cage and the door closes and the referee says it's time to fight, do you think the fact that it means so much more to you than it does to him means that if it does get dirty, if it does get tough, and one of you's on the cusp of maybe having to quit, it'll be you that comes out on top in that position?
I will not quit. There's no quitting. I've been killing myself every single day in that gym, being away, like I said, from my family. It's also I like to put myself in these out of my comfort zone, in baddest positions, because it's easy to train up to a fight. Oh, sorry. It's easy to train up to a fight if you're in your normal circumstances, if you're normal, like, little zone and stuff. But it's different when you have to wake up every morning, go to a cold gym in Manchester, being away from home. This is all a part of it, and this is all play a part in the fight. Maybe not first 2-3 rounds, but when the fight goes on and when it gets hard, this is where character is built. And I know from myself, I'm not a quitter. Then I would not have been at home. Then I would not have been here. Then I would been at home and just do my own little thing and think everything's gonna be okay. But I want to put myself in the worst positions and the most uncomfortable position, and that's where I'm growing. Because when I'm putting myself out of my comfort zone, then it becomes my comfort zone, and that's very dangerous, because it's always out of your comfort zone when you're fighting, especially when you're fighting in a different country, like we both are. And this is every day for me. So yeah, when it is gonna get dirty, and it will get dirty, and it will get hard, and it will get very violent, I'm 100% I'm gonna be on top of that.
So assuming you win this one and you retain the belt, after this fight, would a potential homecoming in Denmark mean something to you?
Yeah, that would be sick. Definitely, it would be nice if Oktagon came to Scandinavia, but I'm not really asked, in a way, because my focus is not about being the best in Denmark and showing everybody I'm the best in Denmark. My focus is on showing the world I'm the best. And right now, the MMA scene in Denmark is not the biggest at the moment, and that's why I've been seeking training elsewhere as well. But yeah, definitely it would be nice, and it would be very proud for me to show my family and my friends and stuff like that in Denmark what I've achieved, in a way. It's very hard for people to understand the force and the whole thing that Octagon comes with. You have to be in an event, and you have to be almost in check to see how big it is. And the last event they had in Ostrava, I was lucky I could bring my dad with me, and I could show him how big this is and what it is that I'm a part of and I'm on top of. So yeah, that would be a proud thing to do, but that's not really where my focus is. I don't really have many focus about anything before after the fight. For after the fight, because my life goes to Saturday night, and that's it. whatever happens after that, I can't tell. I will not make plans. I will not do anything. My focus is on that night because that's everything for me. That's that night, and that's where my focus is. And you never know what's gonna happen. You never know. It is fighting. Everything can happen in there, and so I cannot have plans. I cannot have focus for after the fights because for me this is do or die. And if I have to spend the rest of my life in hospital after this fight, I'll be happy about that too. So I don't want to make too many plans and too many thoughts about what's gonna happen after the fight or whatever. But yeah, if it is happening and they are coming to Scandinavia, it will be sick, definitely.
Well, Jonas, thank you for joining me. This is a fight that I think Oktagon fans across the world are looking forward to, and it's great to see how determined you are to win this one and how much it means to you. But before I let you go, is there anybody that you'd like to give a shout out to, or anything that you would like to add that I perhaps haven't asked you about?
No, I just want to like this fight camp is almost over, and the people who's been around me, my team, my family, my fiance, just the support I'm getting, the love I'm getting, it's been amazing. It's been a drive for me as well. Um, so yeah, it's just a huge thanks to everybody who's been a part of this and been there when I'm not very happy and mad because things are not going my way, or when I'm there and I'm happy and flying because everything is going good. So yeah, this is what it is. As much as it's for me, it's also for these people that's around me and support me and believe in this crazy dream and believe in this crazy journey and that's a part of this crazy journey. So yeah, definitely. It's a big thanks to them, and I couldn't do without all of these amazing people I have in my life and around me and teammates, and yeah,